Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
So I'd like for the music man. Well, my favorite song, One Last Time.
One other thing I will say, and this probably will not happen, but I will mark the fuck out if it did. If for one night only they paid for the rights to Final Countdown and had Brian come out the Final Countdown, I will lose my fucking mind.
It was the anthem of my bad boy world champion Detroit Pistons. But then it became forever associated with the man that some say is the greatest wrestler of all time, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode 468. And come on, we had to do it. We had to open the show like that, right? I'm here with Blake, and I'm really sick and tired of the Canadian wildfire smog. So there you go. I'm going to start with that today because I was feeling it last night when I went to bed. But moving on, my co-hosts. First of all, the biggest heel podcasting, a man who was texting me really, really upset about how Kurt Angle's milk is not really milk the other day. Sal, how you doing? Unmute yourself.
Oopsie, I forgot I was on mute. I was saying, when you've been lied to for 15 years, it's not a good feeling when you find out the truth.
Is it like when kids find out about Santa Claus? Is that what it is?
No. This one's worse.
This is worse. So finding out that the milk is not real milk is worse than the other kids finding out about Santa Claus. That's what we're finding out today?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't think that's the thing. Hang on, let me introduce you. And man, the myth, the legend, our wrestling historian, Mark Dad, how you doing? Yeah, now you can say what you're going to say.
Okay, if it wasn't real milk, what was it? Almond milk?
No, it was water, apparently. It was water.
It was water with white food coloring.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
I already knew that from Kurt Angle's podcast. Like, you're talking to me like I didn't already know this? And then I realized, oh, wait, I heard on Kurt Angle's podcast. And I heard it.
You could have, say, okay, it was powdered milk mixed with water.
They said it wasn't milk, so there you go.
Well, there you go. Well, neither is powdered milk.
Hey, if you're going there, no lactate milk really isn't real milk here. That's what I drink. So,
It's just milk without the lactose.
trust me, I know. All right, so since we've milked, speaking of milk, we've milked this song in the background long enough, and we're gonna get flagged all over YouTube. I really don't give a fuck today. I asked Dad, like, I know he's supposed to have the intro. So he goes, isn't it obvious we have to start the final countdown? We have to, like, Sunday, so you have to do it.
I mean, do we have $100,000 to pay the fine?
We'll get there in a second. But yeah, this is Europe, the final countdown, and I had to take it back in time a little bit to 2009 to the final Ring of Honor appearance of Bryan Danielson, and apparently that was the last time he heard this song, was that appearance, and then he was not told the song was going to be played until he heard it about to walk to the ring.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
So
really
he didn't
cool.
know, so the reaction to Restore was natural.
That's cool.
So, and by the way, apparently, Dad found out it was about $250,000 to pay for the song for the night.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's insane. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
I thought I heard it was more than that. I thought
It's insane. It's
someone
even-
said like 350,000.
it's still ridiculous. You know, it's absolutely still ridiculous.
Yeah, but if you're TK and you got the money to do it and you want to keep your employees happy, there you go.
He can't afford to do it more than one night. So, well, while we were doing that final countdown intro, our special guest, we said he might be running a little late. Actually, got here right as we were doing our spiel. Perfect timing. I haven't played this in a while, so let's do this. From the PW Torch VIP side, let's clarify that. And Speedway Video. Our old friend Tom Stoup. Tom, welcome to the show.
Oh, yes. I love the weird, wild world of professional wrestling. I can pop on to a wrestling podcast halfway through a discussion about milk and know exactly what you guys are talking about.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. That's great. Also help that you actually, unlike most of us, you actually listen to our show, so you know us well enough to know what the fuck we're talking about half the time.
There's some context.
That really does help. All right, real fast before we get into things, for those listening to the show on Friday, I'm in New Jersey when you hear this. I'm in New Jersey. So it's actually pretty funny because I'm going to be listening to this with like New Jersey commercials and everything else. It's going to be really interesting how this works when I download the show on Friday morning myself. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm literally getting out of plane tomorrow. We're recording this on Wednesday. We're literally getting out of plane tomorrow to go out east, and I'm going to be out there for a good week. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So I got to text you later. I asked you a question about something, but I'll text you later. But anyway, let's get into this show. Help support the show. And her love you can find the show and the project we work on at theobligatoushow.com. So
You can buy our shirts, stickers, hoodies, little baby miniature clothespins, and more from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our website, or go to TeePublic and search for Blake and Sal Show.
Hey, did we get our Blake and Sal Show with Mark freeze-dried astronaut ice cream in yet?
oh, that was random. Oh, that was random.
I figured they freeze-dried ice cream with the pretend milk, so you know.
That was a bit. That's a call I have not heard in a long time. Well done on that one. I gave you that one. Banana items actually available. Let's go to break. Right back. All right. First of all, as always, go pick up Andy's book. I Know I Am. If you have not yet, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and R&T Publishing in English.
Oh, wait, I can model one. Hold on.
Well, you could do that. While you do that, I'll just do the next thing. The Andy and Mandy show available at all Patrick Pepper, returning after the 4th of July, and there's Sal modeling the I Know I Am book. Right there. There you go. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. I'll have to screen cap that later.
There you go.
Tom, why'd you get your plugs in? Go.
Thank you. Yeah, as you mentioned, Torch VIP subscribers can hear me every Saturday on NXT 8 Years Back with Kelly Wells, doing exactly what that sounds like, reviewing the episode of NXT from 8 years prior. And on the last Sunday of every month, or thereabouts, it's I have a weird schedule for how I do it, but you can roughly expect the last Sunday of every month to be Bonus Point, covering WWE developmental, primarily the stuff you don't see on TV.
Fair enough. I think it's fun because listening to your show and then everyone starts popping up on the main show. It's like, oh, I heard about him. I heard about them already. Yeah. I know them. And Mandy looks at me a lot of like, how do you know who that is? I'm like, I hear Tom's show, so I know who people are already.
I'm glad. I've already gotten a couple questions about Bronco Nima and Lucian Price, since they've been advertised as coming soon. And if you've listened to Bonus Point, you have a little bit of an idea of who they are.
Yeah, very much. Before we get into the wrestling, I do want to say one thing. For those who know me, I'm a big talk radio guy, and I listen to New York sports radio, even out here. And Sal knows that I'm a dog. I already brought stuff to him. The Herbert Roberts show is ending today on Friday, as you're hearing this, after 2.5 years. Craig Carton is stepping down from radio completely. He's going over to FS1. It's a very big deal in the New York market. That was a very big deal because a lot of people watch the show on FS1 around the country. So, like, it's a big deal. So I just wanted to make sure I brought that up. I've been listening to the show every single day for the last almost 3 years. So I'm actually kind of sad that the show's ending today. So I just wanted to shout that out because it's a big deal to me. And you're doing New York radio. That the #1 show in New York is actually ending today. So
yeah.
So all right, I just want to make sure I brought that up. All right, let's do this.
And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
All right, I guess we should real quick. As to not completely bore Tom, I know he's not an AEW person at all. Forbidden Door happened this past Sunday, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm not even going to bullshit you. Outside of the Final Countdown stuff that we were joking about in the intro, there's not really a whole lot of talking points out of the show. I'm not quite sure how people are getting 2-hour shows out of this show. I have no clue. I have no idea. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. But I just don't see the breakdown people are doing here. Like, Osprey and Omega was great. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed Okada Danielson. I know Danielson fractured his elbow and somehow wrestled the last 10 minutes with a fractured elbow. I have no clue how he did that.
And broke his forearm.
Fractured. There's a whole bunch of shit going on there, and he's out in at least 6 to 8 weeks. But and then Jack Perry turned heel, and CM Punk getting grouped by Canadians. That's about it. Those are your highlights. And Sting looked like a wandering old man at one point. And so did Tanahashi. But that's about it. Like, I got nothing else. But other than that, Sal, any thoughts on overall on the show and any other quick thoughts you have about it? Because really, I got nothing else.
You pretty much covered everything. I mean, it was a good show. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I really could have done without the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match because that kind of just felt like it was unnecessary. But
again, they had to do it. They had to do that.
Yeah, they had to do it. Plus, the whole heel turn. Yeah, I guess so.
And in Japan, have to have the title on the show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, that's true too. But other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the show. It made our preview show kind of useless because we literally covered 5 out of the 17,000 matches they wanted to play.
And then we covered 2 matches that had been combined into one.
Well, yes, that too.
It's even funnier. So, yeah, Dad, any thoughts? Any other thoughts?
Out of the whole program, the 2 matches that stood out to me were the Omega match and the
Osprey, yeah.
match. Osprey, I'm telling you, this guy, I don't know how he comes up with the moves he does and is able to basically get back on his feet, but he does, and he's amazing to watch. And going forward with New Japan, he's going to be a workhorse for them for a while.
Anyhow, he's been their world champion. I think he's good.
Yeah, so I mean, right now they're back on the right horse with the program for it, and it's working for them. And I wish him nothing but the best. But the change with Sonata though, coming from where I first noticed him to where he is now is a big change for him
Just
to
five
come
guys. Just five guys.
in a suit and everything was just blew my mind.
Oh, and I do want to make a note that I was laughing my ass off. And Rich, if he hears this, will now understand why I'm laughing at this. That Kente Naito comes out in the full out ring and the full out ring gear. That he's going to be doing a normal match. Then he's wearing a t-shirt for the entire match. I openly laughed at that. Openly laughed because I knew that. And CJ admitted he had no idea why I'm laughing. He had no idea why I'm laughing. There was one other thing I was just thinking about. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask Del a quick question. So you did not see the Wrestle Kingdom match with Omega and Ospreay. You did not see it. I did. I know Dad did. There were a lot of callbacks and a lot of playing out the first match. Did you enjoy the match despite not seeing the first match? Shaking your head is not an answer on an audio podcast.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was wondering about that because like there's so many callbacks that I caught because I saw the first match and like I went through a lot of heads because Mandy had no clue what was going on half the time, but I was like enjoying myself because I knew all the stuff. Like I knew everything that was going on.
Right.
So all right, I'm just wondering. And Tom, I'm going to assume you did not see the show at all.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it.
Yeah, no, I don't have. I have two nice things to say about AEW in general, and that's that they have a couple of wrestlers I'm that weren't being considered by WWE, and I'm glad that they're getting to take advantage of a billionaire for his money. And I actually think their video game looks pretty good. Too bad about who all you have to play as when you when you play it. So I won't be, but it looks fun. Other than that, I have nothing nice to say about AEW. It'll just if I commented on this show that I did not watch, it would just draw heat. If you want the heat, I can say a couple things, but I don't know.
Yes, we have the haters on TikTok that like to make comments. So I say
okay.
for it.
Okay.
We're already getting yelled at about stuff. We're already getting yelled at for stupid stuff that we say on the show.
Oh my god. Well, that means people are listening.
That's true. People are listening, and it's been fun. I actually noticed, by the way, since we started making fun of the whole living in the basement thing, we haven't had any extra comments ever since then. Ever since we made fun of that. So
Go figure. But
the
one thing I do want to bring up about is when Jungle Boy turned heel on Hook. That was the longest sell Hook has done, period, since he's debuted for the company.
No, CJ was cracking up laughing because he loves Hook. Absolutely loves the guy. I mean, loves the guy like he's attractive. Like, absolutely loves him. And he's like, get up! You don't get hit by a clothesline. Get up!
I know.
He's cracking up laughing.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
He gets drop kicked.
My first thing was Taz being the pissed off dad on commentary. That made me laugh.
So my thing was Taz pissed off because he was overselling?
I don't know.
Was he pissed off because he was embarrassed?
I have no idea. But I did appreciate Taz being the pissed off dad on the sideline of a sporting event, just yelling like, "How dare you! You couldn't have done that! Why did you do that?" That made me laugh. That made me chuckle.
Yeah.
All right.
Hook, who basically takes a drop kick, gets up like nothing.
I know, that made me laugh. I gotta admit
Yeah.
that. CJ was cracking up laughing. By the way, CJ had a great night because he got all three of his crushes in one night in Guevara, Ospreay, and Hook. All in one night. He made his freaking night. He was having a great time.
Trifecta.
So, all right, let's get to WWE land. As I said last week, this is a WWE eccentric show and whatnot. I will say, because we will talk a little bit NXT, even though Sal says they're irrelevant. The last 2 weeks of NXT, I've really had a lot of fun with. I've had so much fun. The Gold Rush shows have been great. I thought they were great. I thought the Tuesday night show was awesome. I actually thought that they bringing out Baron Corbin as the lone wolf surprised the hell out of me. I didn't see that one coming. That was a cool surprise. And the other thing I will say, the Andre Chase pop made my night. Andre Chase coming out and getting a pretty much standing ovation for returning from injury was like the highlight of my evening because I love Chase U. Like, not even ironically, I absolutely love them. So hearing the crowd go nuts for him was amazing to me. Tom, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Chase has really earned his respect from the NXT audience, and he is the new person. Like I used to say about people like Tommaso Ciampa, I think Chase should be an NXT lifer. I think Chase U should remain an NXT thing because it's such a benefit to. I mean, Chase is one of those people that people working with him can learn from, even though he's not like this great storied veteran, but he fills that role as something of a player coach. And Chase U needing the background students, it serves multiple purposes in that it gives the excuse for trainees who aren't on TV yet, and in a lot of cases aren't even working house shows yet. They're just in Norman Smiley's beginner class. They get the on-camera experience, and they get to be in that environment and see what's expected of being on the television show and be a part of the process. And you get the Chase U cheering section, which looks like it does on TV, but actually serves the function that Jeremy Borash used to at the tapings, where he would conduct the crowd like, okay, we really want you guys to, I'll give you a free t-shirt if you yell really loud for this Undisputed Era match or whatever. And now it's literally the trainees who aren't on TV yet. And sometimes, during commercial, we'll cut dark promos or something. They're up there being directed by a television director who's standing across the studio. And that helps liven up the crowd for the television product. Artificial though that may be, it's become an integral part of the show. Like when there's a dead match, like what was the one I was most recently there for, which wasn't even that recent. I don't attend all that often anymore due to the system of parking at Full Sail and then needing to bus in because the Performance Center doesn't have a parking lot. It's really an inconvenience. But the last one I went to had Wendy Chu versus Cora Jade, and the crowd was just dead. So they relied on that Chase U cheering section to keep that up. And so I think Chase U and Chase himself have really had huge benefits to NXT overall.
Fair enough.
And I love Baron Corbin. There, yeah. I wished that was the first thing I'd seen in quite a while that made me wish that I had gone to that show, because I've been waiting for the Lone Wolf to come back for a long time, and I adore that entrance. So I thought that was a great moment for him.
Yeah, it was a cool moment for him because I didn't expect it either. Like, we're getting to the main event. I'm like, cool. All of a sudden, the music starts like, wait a minute. I know this music. I know this music really well. And all of a sudden, the screen changes over to the Lone Wolf. I'm like, holy shit. And so cool. And CJ heard me yell from his room. He's like, what's going on? Look at this. He's like, holy shit, finally, they brought it back. So happy from the other room.
Did it make you think maybe he was going to win?
A little bit, but then I was like, I'm going with Finn versus Carmelo at a headline Great American Bash.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm thinking. So that's the only reason.
I don't hate it.
Because Rhea was on the show. Oh, yes, now Rhea was on the show. Saying, telling Carmelo and Trick to get out of Judgment Day business.
Oh.
So that was cool. So I think that's setting that up.
The seed has been planted.
Yes. So I think Melo versus Finn is going to happen at Great American Bash. So that's the only reason I wasn't thinking that Corbin was going to win. The only reason. So, all right, let's get to WWE stuff. So, much like the last couple of PLEs, which I'm actually really enjoying them doing this, the SmackDown before the PLE, it's actually been making into a big deal. They do it in the venue that they're going to be in. Like they did the Puerto Rico show, now they're doing a London show. And then they put a couple of big matches on there. So I give them a lot of credit for this. I really enjoy this. The two matches that are big that are doing on SmackDown are going to be, and we'll talk about them here. First of all, it is the WWE Women's Championship, which I love the fact that we can say that now instead of worrying about the shows. It is Asuka taking on Charlotte Flair, but in the background we have Bianca Belair, who is pissed that she didn't get a title shot. Her rematch. Usually, I say Charlotte's in the match, she's winning.
Yes.
We always joke about it. But the Bianca factor, I don't know. Sal, what do you think?
I think somehow, some way, Asuka's going to wind up retaining. And yeah, for once, Charlotte's not going to win a title.
For a change, DQ. It'll be DQ or something. There's no way. Charlotte's not gonna get pinned here or anything. Tom, what do you think?
Definitely long overdue for them to finally retire the branded versions of the titles. So glad that's finally the case. I'm surprised by the positioning of this match because this is the one I was thinking of as the most likely candidate for a quick cash in. Like whoever wins the briefcase would then cash in on this match later in the same show. So with that element not an option with this being on SmackDown, it becomes more intriguing because of what you said about Flair. Although based on how they're choosing to count her championships, I think the next one ties her with how they choose to count her father's, right? So you would think that it would need to be a bigger deal. All due respect to Asuka, whom I adore, and also all due respect to Asuka, but I've been viewing her title reign here as transitional. Transitional to whom, I'm not sure, but I guess that means I wouldn't be too surprised if Charlotte walks out of it. Although I do think the most likely thing is that Bianca gets involved and we kick the can down the road a little bit here.
That
To me, to have Charlotte come back and all of a sudden put a belt on her is just
like last time, like the last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the
and we
last like
also-
2 times.
Yeah, and we saw how well, I mean, let's put it in perspective. Let her earn her way back to that spot in that position and not just have a give me. And if you're trying to turn Bianca heel, I mean, this may be the vehicle to do it. I mean, they've been talking about turning her heel for a little bit. Maybe this is where she actually flips out and does it.
Interesting idea. I have a feeling, this is my gut feeling I had thought of, we're either leading to a triple threat at SummerSlam with Bianca, or they want to have Charlotte versus Bianca at SummerSlam and because Charlotte's the only horsewoman she has to beat for the title. And have her beat her for the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So that's the only, I just thought about that. So that's just something that came to mind. That's something Bianca said it's like one of the last things on her bucket list is to be able to beat the last horsewoman, and she's the last one. So
Yep.
All right, the other match, it is the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. There was a point made that if they really wanted to do something, this should just be for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but they're not. It is Sami Zayn and as sad to put in my notes, angry Kevin Owens. It's very funny. Defending against Pretty Deadly. Again, if this was not for both belts and just SmackDown, I'd say Pretty Deadly wins the titles. I really would say that 100%. Because it's both belts. There's no way taking the belts off Sami and KO right now, Tom.
Yeah, I agree that there's no way they're taking the belts off Sami and KO. I chuckled when I saw you typed in "angry" to the run sheet because it's angry Kevin Owens. So that will play a factor, but I don't expect any particularly dramatic storytelling. Other than to just point out that's or in a related way, just point out that Pretty Deadly, as predicted, have been doing very well on the main roster. The call-up has been going swimmingly so far. Just a clean transition from who they were in NXT to how they're being presented and who they are on the main roster.
With new music,
I think
with updated music, which I'm loving.
Yeah, their future has looked bright for a while, and post call-up in the mostly Triple H world of the main roster, still looking bright.
I do appreciate saying mostly. That made me chuckle. Sal.
Yeah, I agree with you, Blake. If they were going to split the titles back, I would say this would be a good opportunity to bring the title back to SmackDown. But for both, I don't see Pretty Deadly, at least not right now, winning both of them. So I'm saying Sami and KO.
That
Angry KO?
Right, angry KO.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
So, I mean, does WWE have like Dr. Shelby on speed dial or something?
What's funny is everyone's going nuts about this side of KO, but then somebody put a montage together. Maybe it was in WWE before this thing. He's been doing this for years. This is not new. Like everyone acts like it's new. KO's been doing it literally for years.
But it feels like it's just like turned up just a little bit more.
Like he's been doing this for so long, where he overreacts to things and screams and yells and like breaks kayfabe and like yells at the camera and like breaks the fourth wall. He's been doing this for years. This is not new.
I mean, if you compare him to like from ROH, to where he is now, yeah, his character is getting a little bit more animated.
And I
He's
love it though.
great.
I love KO. I love KO and Sammy in general. Like they are my favorite thing on TV right now
yeah.
because I
Oh, yeah.
relate to everything. I relate to maybe I'm more KO than I realize because I relate to him so much now. Every time I watch him every week.
Look, when I see them together in their chemistry, it's like an older brother and a younger brother, and the older brother is trying to give the sage advice to the younger brother, who's basically a hothead, and that's the way I look at it, as them being like brothers. And in a sense, they are for how
They
long
are,
the
pretty much.
friendship has been, lasted over time.
But still, yeah.
I don't see any big title change as of yet. I mean,
Fair enough.
let's have the wave of insanity,
Whatever it is, yeah. All right.
Money.
Gotta get that.
Money. Money.
You gotta get that.
Money.
Show.
Money.
How this hot game for the play.
I have a feeling the WWE just didn't want to play the old like Money in the Bank theme anymore because that was related to Trump, so they changed the music to a really terrible song. So this is the new really terrible song for the heat review. It's called Cash In.
Yes.
But no, I was looking it up and I'm like, don't tell me they're still using the old Money in the Bank. And I looked it up on YouTube, like, oh, that's what this crap is. It's the new crappy song for Money in the Bank. So I'm like, they probably just didn't want to use the old one anymore. So WWE Money in the Bank from the UK on Saturday afternoon for us in the US. Not going to bullshit people. I'm not watching it live because I'm going to be at a Broadway show. So I'm not. I'll be watching it when I get back to the hotel after and Juliet. So I do ask anyone listening, no spoilers, please. I will be watching a show later in the day. So just want to put that out there. I think this is only the second time. This is maybe the second time I've ever not watched a PLE live in the last like 5-6 years. I really watch it live, but like I think the last one was actually like a couple of years ago. We were in Disney in the NXT show. Like the last time. So, and I think it's happening again. I think there's another one coming up later in the schedule. I'm like, oh, I'm bringing up plans that night. I can't watch that live. I can't watch that one live. Anyway.
Sorry for the spoilers, but it's divorced, beheaded, and died. Divorced, beheaded, survived.
That's 6. Got in Julia. I got that reference. Perfectly done. Well done. Well done.
I thank my theater obsessed daughter for that one.
That was good. I like that. Very nice. I like that one. I appreciated it. All right. Let's do this. We'll start from the bottom to the top. And it's very funny how we're starting from the bottom and Ronda Rousey's in the first match we're talking about. Boy, she has fallen. She has fallen. But that's how think about it. Like, how much Ronda Rousey has fallen in the last few years that she went from main eventing shows to being the first match we talk about on a show. That's to me how this has happened. But it is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Now it's they merged it with the NXT Tag Team Championship. I still don't understand why they did that, but they did it. So that's why if you see the multicolored, I decided to have some fun with the colors on the run sheet. And add a little gold to the name of the titles. And it's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Sal's gonna hate this match on so many levels because he's got Ronda and Liv in the match. This match on so many levels.
No.
Okay, I understand Ronda because everyone's sick of Ronda. I still don't get your hatred for Liv Morgan. I don't get it.
She's such a wannabe. Oh my god, I can't stand her.
Playing the part of Alexa Bliss would be Liv Morgan.
Well, Alexis is pregnant, so she can't do it. So, oh my god. Well, I always give Sal crap because for those who are new to the show, because I know we have a lot of new people listening every week. Liv Morgan, literally from the town that's like next door to our hometown, from Melbourne Park, which is literally next door to Garfield. So we like having fun with it. But it's just very funny how much he didn't stand her. It's so funny to me. She's not from Lodi. She's not from Lodi.
No, she was from Lodi. I forgot about
The whole
her.
difference is I agree with you. It was Lodi. But anyway, tag team titles. There's no reason to take these belts off Ronda and Shayna though right now. They just got them. They just merged them. They did all this weird shit with them. And I gotta admit, Ronda and Shayna have a hell of a chemistry. They got great chemistry because Shayna's able to make sense of anything Ronda actually says. Shayna makes sense of it. So there you go. Go ahead, Sal. I see you want to say something. Go ahead.
If Liv Morgan beats up Ronda Rousey
Again?
and Shayna Baszler again, I'm going to smash my head through a window because that is so not believable.
I'm writing down time codes. Time code.
Remember, this is being recorded, so we're gonna.
I know that's why I'm writing down a time code. There's a reason for that. That's why no clip I'm using for Thursday.
Elmwood Park trash.
Okay. Tom, what do you think?
Oh boy. I've spent a lot of time on PW Torch talking about my criticisms of Liv and how much I adore Shayna. And I just couldn't give a damn about this. If I rotated my camera a little bit, you'd see the NXT Women's Championship with Shayna Baszler side plates hanging up. I adore Shayna Baszler, but her use over the past couple years and now being just they can put online how much it means to them to be tagging together after their, MMA associations and whatnot. But that's exactly why Baszler is with Rousey, is because Rousey doesn't work on her own, and Baszler needs to be there to make sense of what the heck she's doing, whether it's in the ring or in an interview. Rousey has fallen so much, and I don't know. I mean, that's what I think of this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Raquel has potential as a recurring adversary for Rhea Ripley, but outside of the potential of feuding with somebody who she literally trained with for years and rode the coconut loop with, I don't know. She feels forced otherwise, but I like the perennial potential of Raquel versus Rhea.
Okay. Daddy got it.
This is a match that I just can't wrap my head around because for some reason I just don't think this is something that not only should be on a live pay-per-view, but let alone in the UK.
This should have been the SmackDown one.
I can't even argue with you on that point. I can't even argue with that.
You're correct. Because now it seems to me that Shayna is running the show for that team. And it seems like Ronda is riding on Shayna's coattails. So
But Shayna didn't even get the Kira theme music. Ronda's theme music is not their theme music.
So how long is it going to be before we see the team implode on each other? I mean, given
do you really want to see a Shayna Ronda match? I don't. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I do because that would be like the last straw, and if that makes Ronda pack her bags and go home, then so be it. I mean, to me, that would be like the last chance to be staying in the company. And
how much time was in her contract? I don't remember. Like, I honestly don't remember how long it left in her contract because it feels like she had her contract and then they extended it, and then she wanted to have a baby. She ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah,
The pandemic.
Right.
Like, I don't even know how long it left on her contract at this point.
I'm not sure, but I don't think the right thing to do would be trying to put Raquel and Liv kind of over on this, because to me that just it would not be a good thing to have that match go that way. It wouldn't be believable. It wouldn't be credible. To me, if Raquel was still teaming with Shotzi, I would see that being more credible and believable.
Pretty much, the only reason she was teaming with Shotzi is because Liv with her. That's the only reason.
Yeah, though there you go. So, I mean, for me to have really any best interest in this match would be like -1.
You know what's funny is they found a way in this resolution to actually have a women's buffer match on a show. And it has Ronda Rousey in it. Who saw that one coming? Who saw that coming? Let's get to a match people actually give a shit about. In WWE Intercontinental Championship, it is Gunther and Matt Riddle. I give credit where it's due to a bunch of people online right now, bringing up the fact that they had an epic 3-match series in progress for the Atlas Championship a ways back. So they haven't had a one-on-one match since then. So that's pretty damn cool. I hope this is great. I really do. I want good things for this match. I don't expect Gunther to drop the belt at all, but I expect good things from this match, Tom.
Yeah, I there's no way Gunther's losing. Hopefully this match can do for Matt Riddle something close to what Sheamus's match with Gunther did. I think that's the best we can look for from it.
Or even like Sheamus and Drew at Mania, because that triple threat match was awesome. So like something like that. So Sal,
I don't care about his ankle, but what about his ankle?
yeah, that made me laugh so hard. I cracked me up. My ankle, they hurt my ankle, and then don't hurt my ankle too. Ever something on his ankle, and then he's gonna walk on crutches. Oh, were you watching any more Sal when he walked through with crutches on? That made me laugh too. That made me laugh. Oh my god.
Yeah, I do not for 100 miles see Gunther losing the title.
Fair enough. Ted?
No, I don't see it. My thing is, who do you think would be the number one challenger to do that for Gunther to drop the belt to?
I have no clue at this point. Honestly, I don't know. Tom, any clue? Because I have no clue at this point.
Braun Breaker? I don't know.
Maybe that's actually
that would probably be the only person that I would think would probably be in the running, because I don't have anyone on my radar that would do it. I mean, currently, no.
I'm checking something because I want to see how long currently Gunther's reign is. Because actually, I've been keeping track of it. Because everyone's worrying about Roman's reign, but everyone's like they want Gunther to hit Honky Tonk's record. But I don't know what Gunther's number is. I know Honky Tonk's number is 442. Let me just check this because I'm literally skimming through Wikipedia as we speak, and he is currently, by the time this episode airs, he'll be at 385. So wow. It's not that far-fetched at all. Actually, no, think about it. No, he can actually break the Honky Tonk record. So there you go. That's something to think about.
Royal Rumble?
Triple H has been in the business of breaking records.
So. Literally, every record.
Yes, he has.
Like, I've noticed that since he took over. Like, especially with Gunther at that. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
All right.
Where else can you find a guy Gunther size to move like Gunther, and basically the way he hits?
Yeah,
he's talking heavy hand. I mean,
his chops are still terrifying.
I mean, one chop and you're already looking at the guy's chest and it's already bruised and discolored, and you know. So
it didn't even dawn on me. We just passed the year mark of his reign. It didn't even dawn on me because he won the title June 10th, 2022. Didn't realize he passed the year. Yeah, I'm shocked WWE didn't make a big deal out of that because he passed the year. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to a match that I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to how ridiculous this is going to be. It's Cody Rhodes taking on Dominic Mysterio with Monty in his corner. This is gonna be stupid. This is gonna be a clusterfuck. This is gonna be so much fucking fun. And you got Dad. You can start us off. Go.
Okay. I love this match for so many reasons, and one is not only the comedy that's involved in this, but to see Dominic basically kind of give his comeuppance. But here's even the better part, right? You have Pharaoh in Cody's corner.
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that with the pyro. Don't do that with the pyro.
No. I'm talking.
No, I'm telling you, no.
Okay.
Don't do it. There's too much pyro. You don't even have them in the building. Right. Don't even have them near the building for Cody's entrance.
Yeah.
Do it.
But I can say, you know, Pharaoh could be there as an emotional support animal.
Oh, yeah. Keep him in the back. Keep him nowhere near the pyro. Keep him nowhere near the pyro. Let's go around. Sal, what do you think is going to happen in this weird matchup?
LOL, Cody Rhodes wins. I mean, let's be honest here. We all know he's not going to lose.
True. I have a theory, but I'm going to save mine for last. Tom.
I mean, yeah, Cody's winning. I continue to wonder, is this the moment where Rhea just looks at him and walks away? But I have to admit that for as much as I've been waiting for that for months and months, for Rhea to leave the Judgment Day and go face, Dominic's star power after Mania has just been rising. And in just looking at this specific feud, I think Cody's done an incredible job with their promos of putting over Dominic's character, even though he'll be the one going over in the match. And the Rhea connection, Whereas before it seemed like a weird fit for me because Rhea's so much bigger than Dominic, not physically, but just as a star. Now I feel like they're working in tandem really well, and I almost don't want them to break up, which I guess would make a breakup all the more dramatic. But it's just a wonderful surprise because Dominic, like, he's been doing well, but every time he had a big match, no matter how much I enjoyed it, and his match at Mania was my favorite match at Mania, every time he's had one of those, I've thought, yeah, but that was kind of it for him, right? It'll just be a short downward slope from here, and then, he'll be whatever happened to that guy. And every once in a while we'll hear the rumor like, oh, internally he's regarded as a future world champion. And I'm like, who made up that rumor? No way. And now I see it. I honestly do. Especially, having the second world championship definitely helps. It's like, oh, okay, that opens up the eligibility pool a bit more. But now I think Dominic's doing great, and his segments are must-see TV. So this should be a really fun one.
I'll give credit where it's due. We were me and Manny went to that house show we were talking about. I've been bringing it up a lot because it works here right before Mania. And Dom had a singles match. No one in the corner, no Judgment Day in the corner, just by himself against Santos. And I got to admit, he looked really good in the ring. He looked really good for a house show match against a good talent. I mean, Santos is fantastic, but like the match was good. It wasn't boring. He didn't slip up. He didn't make mistakes. Like, it was just a really entertaining match, and he's improving. I give him all the credit in the world because doing the house show tours by himself is really good for him as a wrestler.
Right.
That's also good for him. Dad, your thoughts on this match now, outside of the weirdness of bringing up Pharaoh?
I don't see Cody losing, but I do see Rhea getting involved in some way, whether or not Cody acts on it or does something, and Dominic puts Rhea in harm's way. Whatever. It may lead that Cody wins because of disqualification. It's a possibility with Rhea stepping in, but I just like the chemistry they've now got, and for Rhea to be Dom's mouthpiece, especially like when he, I wanted to introduce Monday Night Raw, and all of a sudden all the crowd's booing him was what my Dom wants to say.
I love it. I love it so much.
And then all of a sudden he comes over and whispers what Dom wants to say, Cody. It's like, okay, so now she's the mouthpiece.
Well, how about he can't get awarded? The crowd won't let him talk. The crowd won't let him talk.
That's because of the heat he's generating.
I know, but it's impressive.
That just shows you that how over the character is. And for you to have something like this and to go down that type of road with that type of relationship is great. And I'm hoping it lasts a little bit longer down the road because it's working. And if it's not broken, don't fix it.
So I have a theory, and it's only because, and the only reason I don't think it'll happen. Then again, my last pay-per-view seemed to be great, so I'll go with it. And because it's in London, that's the only reason I don't see this happening. But I'm going to go with it anyway. Referee gets knocked down, Rhea interferes, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits and attacks Cody. And then Dom gets a pinfall victory on Cody that he can brag about, but it's not a real win because obviously Brock Lesnar interfered. But Dom then gets to hold over everyone's head. I beat Cody Rhodes. I beat Cody Rhodes in promos. And that just intensifies his heat because he gets to brag about when it's not actually his. It's not actually his win.
I could totally see that happening.
That's something I can do. That would be fucking amazing. Because then you continue Brock Cody at SummerSlam. That keeps Cody away from the title at SummerSlam. That keeps Cody away from the belt. And then that continues Dominic's heat. Because if that happened and he brags about it, that he's going to be even more massive than it already is.
If they want to do Brock unadvertised like that, I love it. You had me real close to thinking you were going to say Brandy.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, I like where Tom's going with this.
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
No, I don't like it.
No, listen,
no.
I mean, it would be to me. It would be like a one on and off. It's like she slaps Rhea in the face and she runs off, and that's it.
Having Farrah out there is more believable than having Brandy out there going after Rhea Ripley. Absolutely, Rhea Ripley. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm just again writing something down in my notes. All right, let's move on to our next match. So we have the funny part about this card is that the World Heavyweight Championship is one of the most unimportant matches on this show, but it has great build. So it is the World Heavyweight Championship match. It is Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor. The build has been fantastic. I give credit where them due because I didn't think they're going to have good build. I thought they did a great job with the build. And I thought Finn's attitude lately has been great. And like just being pissed off Finn has been amazing. And I loved his promo on Monday. Seth is winning the match, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do a rematch at like SummerSlam and the Demon comes out. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Sal, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Seth losing so quickly. And I really feel bad for Finn Balor because, he just never got that opportunity to regain the title that he, never lost. But yeah, I mean, I can see shenanigans happening and Seth Rollins persevering and winning, and then they set up a rematch of some sort that, maybe a Hell in a Cell, since there's no dedicated pay-per-view for that anymore.
That's a good call, actually. I mean, it'd be funny if the Demon Finn has 2 Hell in a Cells in 1 year. That would be hysterical to me. Because he had what it made a good edge. That would make me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. Tom?
The Judgment Day has very frequently, prior to 2023, not worked at all. Finn has felt like the piece of it that works the least about it. I've covered over and over again, week to week on my NXT shows on the Torch, that I've never been that much of a Balor fan. I think he's really boring. I have really enjoyed the build to this match, and I'm really liking, for the first time in Balor's career, I'm liking the character he's presenting. I think it's really effective. I think that promo on Monday, you mentioned it. I thought that was excellent. Yes, pre-taped, but we've seen pre-taped Balor before, and this was engaging, and I loved the production element of showing him relinquishing the belt and Rollins coming out and laughing at him.
I was almost
surprised.
I completely forgot about it.
I'm surprised they didn't superimpose, Seth's current laugh over his laughter there. But that was one of those things that 7 years ago, you saw that moment and you thought, oh, they're planting a seed. And that seed was never reaped, but they remembered that it happened so they can use it now. And so, yeah, I agree. This does feel like one of the less important matches on the show, but it has had one of the better builds. And a lot of that, I mean, I think it's primarily thanks to Finn Balor and how he's really got this heel character dialed in right now.
Part of me wants to believe like Triple H has like a file on a computer with like all these like things that happened in the past that he's trying to bring back now and like culminate before he can't anymore. I want to believe he has that. That's what this feels like. Like this whole storyline never got a culmination 7 years ago. We're gonna do it now.
Yeah, why not?
And it's my guy. It's 2 of my guys, so we're gonna have some fun with it. That just feels like to me. Dad, go ahead.
So what's the catchphrase? In 7 years, you got bitter, but in 7 years, I got better.
Yes, that is the line he said.
So
but I also like when Vince said that his that the old him is dead and this is a different me. I like that too. So
I mean, I expect this to be a pretty good match. I don't expect Seth to drop the belt. But do you see Seth's good luck charm, Carmelo Hayes, making an appearance?
No, not here. I don't think they're going to fly him out to the UK for this. I don't expect him to the brand. You got to remember he's in the UK. See the States, I could totally maybe see it, but not in the UK.
Because it's hard to say nowadays, but there are times when that Finn can do this, and all of a sudden Damian Priest comes out, and it's like there's no need for him to be there because Finn can handle this.
Actually, I just thought about something. What if they did the opposite? Because remember when Finn came out during Priest match and Priest didn't want him there? What if they did the opposite here? And Priest came out thinking Finn needs his help, and Finn didn't want his help. That
or Priest doesn't come out.
Yeah, or Priest doesn't come out. You're right, Tom.
Yeah. and so having Damian basically cost Finn the match,
or at least like he thinks he's gonna have his help and he doesn't, like Tom just said. That's another idea. Like some ideas that they're go with the Judgment Day storyline they're doing. It's just some ideas that's just pop into my brain.
I mean, so would you start to say that this would be the erosion or start the erosion of the Judgment Day then?
Or you could also, if you want to do a Damian Finn thing, you have JD McDonough in the background to take a spot. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, you could do that too. Damian could be a big star on his own, and they're finally doing something with him. So
Right.
they can finally do something big with him. He's getting older. They really got to start doing something with him.
Yeah.
We'll get more into him when we get the Money in the Bank. But first things first, let's get to the, as they're calling it, the Bloodline Civil War. It is Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Usos. By the way, so what I loved about this whole thing is they have the epic moment on SmackDown. The epic, like, the Usos are together again and they turn on Roman, and the epic moment on SmackDown. Everyone loved it. I admit I didn't exactly see it coming, and then Mandy even popped when it happened because she didn't pop it much on Friday night, but she popped. It was a cool moment, and the crowd's going nuts, and the reaction videos were like my favorite thing in the world right afterwards, because everyone, they were doing like live reactions, and you have these live reaction people like, holy shit, what the hell just happened? Videos. Those were my favorite thing to watch the next day. But then all of a sudden, magically on a Saturday night, during the first collision, all of a sudden there was a graphic went up, the Bloodline Civil War. I'm like, they didn't even wait till Monday to announce it? Like, wait till Monday? Wait till Raw to make this announcement? But that made me chuckle. Like a full graphic and like a big design. Like, I couldn't wait. But here we go. It's Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. We all knew it was coming eventually. We all knew, but here we are. I'm not sure where to go with this. I'll start with you, Sal. Go.
Oh, great. I don't know. Roman and Solo with shenanigans. I don't know. It could go either way.
Tough. It's tough. It's a lot tougher than you thought it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it a couple of months ago. Right here. Tom?
Yeah, it's a bit tougher. They already broke the ice with Roman losing a tag match. Even if they hadn't, this feels like the first place where, we can cement the newly officially, like, really babyface Usos again, but with a win. But just like Solo debuting on the main roster at Clash at the Castle, is this where we finally get Jacob Fatu joining the Bloodline? Zilla's too green, but he's working a Reality of Wrestling event at some point in July. But I mean, I honestly don't know what Jacob's up to right now. I think he's still in MLW, right?
He just signed a contract with MLW, and number two, they won't touch him because of his because he's had jail time or something like that. They won't touch him.
That was in the back of my mind. So
yeah,
so in that case, Uso's over.
Yeah,
Usos
he just resigned. And he just resigned with MLW like a couple of weeks ago. I got another press release about that 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Dad, go.
Actually, if it comes down to, it's like a flip of the coin, to be honest with you.
Stuff.
Because there's no titles involved, I would have to give the edge to the Usos. I mean, if you're going for family honor, this is the place to do it. I mean, the only thing missing from this whole spiel is the late Jerry Springer. Other than that, you can actually say it's the real life family feud. So let's bring Steve Harvey on out, but I have to go with the edge with the Usos on it. I mean, if you want to give them momentum and you're turning him babyface again, this is the platform to do it. And like Dave said, Roman can be on the island of relevancy all by himself.
All right. Jesus Christ. The Usos got to win this match. But my brain is so, it's funny, like we were joking about during Findor, there was a bunch of tag matches. We're like, well, that person's in this match to get pinned. Well, the problem with this match is Solo really can't afford another pin, and Roman hasn't been pinned in 3 years. So I think the Usos are going to win, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Jay's going to pin Roman to be the first person to pin Roman in 3 years.
Ooh.
And that sets up Jay versus Roman again at SummerSlam. Because I got to think SummerSlam. I got to think main event to SummerSlam here. What are we doing? And that sets that up.
I've also heard that supposedly they want to get another family member involved,
But who
and
though?
that would be
Who?
Rikishi.
Okay, that would actually make sense. That would
And
actually
my
work.
thing is, if you're gonna do it, this would be the venue to do it, and basically say, "You guys are brothers. Why are you fighting? What the hell? Why are you listening to Roman? Roman's
Very
a
true.
dumbass. Don't listen to him."
You want to you know when you do that? If you're gonna do a big surprise about that, do that on SmackDown. Do that on SmackDown. On this week's SmackDown. But the problem with that is the show's pre-taped in America, so that spoiler would be out there. But that actually helped the rating.
Yeah,
That spoiler that Rikishi's in the bloodline thing might actually help the rating.
Yeah.
So even though SmackDown
Do
doesn't
it
need
the other way
ratings.
around.
What was that?
Do it the other way around. I did it for the chief. I don't know.
Rikishi sides with Roman.
There's a twist. That's a nice
There
twist.
it is.
He's like, hey man, my I may be a legend who doesn't appear on TV anymore, but I'm making a little bit more money when Roman's at the head of the table. So
But yeah, and then Rikishi gives a stink face to the Usos.
Oh my God!
he's got enough
you
for both at
go.
once.
Family TV to watch. There you
Oh
go.
my God! All right, let's get to the Money in the Bank matter matches. I guess we're gonna do the men's one last. We'll do the female one first. And by the way, so I actually was sitting like, who's on what show? I actually forgot some of the shows they were on when I was doing the color coding. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So there we go. We have Zelina Vega of the LWO. We have Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bailey, my girl, Io Sky, and Trish Stratus. The funny part is when you look at this, it's like you have Trish and Becky and Zoe almost should cancel each other out because they're having a feud. And that leaves the three from SmackDown. My heart will always go to Bailey, but I just don't see her winning this again. And I also love Zelina. That narrows me down to Io Sky as the winner of Money in the Bank this year and holding it over Bailey. As look, I won this without you, even though you're in the match with me. So I totally see that happening. Tom, I'll throw it to you.
I was gonna say all the stuff that you just said, including how much I love Bailey. Zelina's the dark horse based on how well she did in Puerto Rico, but this is Io's. The other ones, the Raw ones, cancel themselves each other out, and Io's gonna win to further that damage control thing.
Good call. Good call, Sal.
So here's my thought process. I feel like having Trish in this match is unnecessary unless they're going to have her win. So I'm saying Trish Stratus is going to win, cash in, win, and then fight Becky for the title.
That's intriguing. So you think Trish is going to cash in on Rhea?
Yes.
That's intriguing. And the only reason I say it that way is because they were just teasing. Again, I don't think he started the third hour. See, I have to clarify. Sal doesn't watch the third hour Raw most of the time because he goes to bed for some reason before the show's over, even though he doesn't have work next day. He didn't see the third hour Raw. You know, like the best stuff's happening in the third hour Raw lately. And you didn't see Rhea and Becky actually have a face-to-face in the back, which was a really cool moment. Like that was a cool moment to set up the future. That's intriguing though. I like that. It's an interesting idea. I'm not gonna lie, Sal. It's a very interesting idea. Dad?
I'm gonna go with Io Sky only because I think this is her time to break away from damage control and be on her own and to prove something to everyone that, you know, she's not just a cog in damage control. She can be an individual wrestler and she can showcase her talents, and you could put her in a championship match and she would fare very well with it. And if you want to basically kill the damage control, this would be the way to do it.
That's true. I was always like, why do they want to bring out damage control? But now I'm actually seeing it where like I could see Io and Bailey like feuding and things like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And any more promos in the outfit Bailey was wearing on Monday, I'd be happy with. Anytime. Sorry, I'm not even hiding my love for her anymore. I'm just not bothering to care anymore. All right. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And I can't wait to hear the cringe at the end of this sentence. Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, yeah. Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul.
Boo.
There it is. That's why I saved it for last. No, I'm gonna go last. Tom, go.
All right. Spoke about, in regards to Dominic Mysterio's potential future, spoke about the expanded pool of eligibility now that there is another world championship. Disagree with that move, though I have. And that's where LA Knight goes from looking like the popular guy who has no chance to win to feeling like a dark horse, because maybe there is a world where someone like LA Knight could cash in for a world championship if they want to get something out of however much is left in his run. You said earlier, Blake, what I feel about Damian Priest is that they're doing something with him, and I mean, you guys know I admire his work. Hasn't clicked for a long time on the main roster, but he's had a good several months in a row, and I think at Puerto Rico proved himself as a main eventer, someone with main event potential. So I like him to win here. But man, because of that expanded pool of eligibility, I absolutely see a Logan Paul win. It's really hard for me to see something other than a Logan Paul win here, because it just makes so much sense to me, and successful cash in and all. Like, I don't know how soon. I feel like Seth's got a while to go with the belt, but it's hard to predict anything other than Paul winning here.
Sal?
So with the addition of Logan Paul, I was thinking, oh great, now he's going to win because Seth Rollins is champion, and they're just going to, keep continuing that feud, and blah 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 blah. But I've been saying for a while, LA Knight, how fun would that be?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy deserves. Yeah, thank you. The guy deserves it. I mean, give him something. Throw him a freaking bone. So I say LA Knight.
I'm sorry, I can't hear the word "yeah" ever again now. I just can't. It's impossible to hear the word "yeah." I'm
Yeah.
done.
I was going to say at first Damian, but I like where Sal's going with his idea and his thought. Would LA Knight, to win, and then, down the road, LA Knight cashes in and he challenges, Seth for the title. I don't think he's going to win, but it would be an interesting match. So, I mean, I got to go with LA Knight. I mean, to see how far he's come from Impact TNA to NXT to here, I mean, hit and all the heat he's generating and the buzz, why not give him the little push he needs and see where it goes from there?
So here's where I stand. My logical brain is with Tom and goes Logan Paul. That's where the logical brain goes. Also, if it's this is not, I almost can totally see them having Logan Paul win this earlier in the show and then cashing in on Seth, and then they made a SummerSlam with Seth versus Logan Paul. I can totally see that happening. But I think what you do is, for some reason, they think LA Knight's the heel when he's not. What you do is you have the crowd thinking Logan Paul is going to win, and you have at the top of that ladder, someone's unhooked, and then LA Knight is the one to knock him off that ladder and win the thing. And that makes him even bigger babyface of this crowd, because he kept Logan Paul from winning. And the pop of that crowd is going to be amazing because everyone hates Logan Paul. That pop would be absolutely fucking incredible. But again, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Is you take the people like Tom's logic of having people like, well, Logan Paul in this match, he's going to win, and you use that to your advantage to turn LA Knight officially face because the crowd wants him to anyway.
Right.
That logic is sound.
Yeah.
And we know that we'll get a Logan Paul Ricochet spot of some kind at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ricochet, though, I'm a little surprised that Bronson Reed didn't get like a last chance, entry into this match. Do we think that he's going to come in and take out Ricochet and Shinsuke?
That's an interesting idea.
That
I forgot about him actually for a minute there.
Yeah.
Although, how do you not have him on commentary on Monday? Like, I know they were trying to do the whole thing where he's going to get thrown out, but like, how do you not take advantage of how good he is on the mic and have him sit at commentary for like one of these Ricochet Shinsuke things? Because like, he's so good, and he showed how good he was during the G1 last year. Like, I didn't realize how good he was until he sat down and did commentary on the G1 last year. Like, holy shit, he's really good. Like, he's really good at doing commentary. So I'm surprised they have not done that yet.
I can see Tom's idea come out with. I mean, yeah, that could be a really good possibility.
That's a great idea. Actually, I like that a lot. Actually, I like that a lot.
I'm such a huge proponent of WWE's developmental system, and bonus point listeners know that I'm also a proponent of their focus on college athletes now and trying to create that path. But man, Bronson Reed was just not working for me in NXT at all, and it to the point where it was not a surprise that he didn't get accepted onto the main roster. They took a look at him in a couple SmackDown dark matches or whatever, and they were like, nah, no thanks. That wasn't a surprise to me. Whatever he did in Japan, which you guys seem to be familiar with, and I'm sure a lot of other listeners are, I didn't watch any of it. Wow, he really figured it out over there, because
I
now
thought
he's
Jonah
back on Raw.
was fantastic in New Japan. I thought he was fantastic. He did the G1 last year, and his matches were some of my favorite matches of the G1.
I mean, the dude's just a wrecking ball, and I know that's like one of those cliche things that commentators like to call big guys in the ring, but previously it's like, oh wow, look how big Bronson Reed is, and he's stomping his foot on the stairs, and we've got like this Godzilla theme going on his Tron, and I'm just like, I don't know. I met him once. He's really nice, so I feel bad criticizing, but I don't know. And now I'm just like, no matter who he's wrestling, I want to see him crash into them. It's very good.
You know what I've noticed since he got away from the Miz and let him be himself? It's Jonah I saw in New Japan last year. They're letting him be the character he was in New Japan, and that's why it's working. That's why it's working, because he knew exactly what he was doing, and they pretty much said, do that, and we'll see if it works. And that's why they put the suit on, and he's more serious, and he's cutting promos. Like, that's the Jonah we saw last year, and that's the person they said, go be that person, and that's working. It's a lot like when they said they like Gunther, be Gunther, like, just be yourself, just do your thing, and it's working. It's the same mentality.
But the thing with Bronson Reed that you can kind of see the difference from when he was in before to where he is now is character's more edgier. The character's generating heat. He can be the heel character that he needs to be, and he has no problem embracing it. Where before it seemed he had a little bit of a hard transition from saying, okay, I want to stay babyface and come into the main roster. Still,
again, though, I think it's been part of being in New Japan, because he was a heel in New Japan, and I think he got a taste of it. He got a taste of how good it could be.
Right?
And, like, they put him over Okada. Like, come on, people don't beat Okada that much in Japan, and he got to beat Okada. Like, that's how much he was respected in Japan last year. So that's a big deal. As proven when everyone was freaking out on Sunday when, like, Bryan Danielson made Okada tap out for the first time since 2015. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, Okada doesn't lose matches that often. So the fact that they had Jonah beat him is a big deal. So I think that is where we're ending. Anyone got anything else? Or are we good?
Anything coming up on the horizon that should be on our radar as far as
we're good right now.
Talent or anything?
Yeah, Tom, anyone else we should keep an eye on for NXT in the next couple of weeks?
In the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, because we know the promos and things like that. I didn't see the future. Who are you talking about on bonus point that we should look out for? There you go. Perfect.
Well, Miles Bourne, and he has had a match on NXT at this point, and he was just enhancement talent, and I don't feel like that's how they should have introduced him. Miles Bourne, the headline for him is deaf wrestler. He's, he's
that guy. Oh, yeah, that guy. Okay.
Even though he's new, he has to call the spots in the match because he won't be able to hear what spots somebody else is calling, that kind of thing. But even though every once in a while they'll mention that, that's not his character. He's not being promoted as the deaf wrestler. He's just a technical wrestler who goes out there and is really good at it. And I love that they're not making his condition his thing. And so I've been extremely impressed with him. And man, there are just so many names that I'm talking about right now. I love the women's division, so I want to have somebody else to point out, like, ooh, Kalani Jordan's been impressive real early since she's started to get a couple of TV matches and whatnot. But honestly, somebody that I'm looking forward to the most is in the Next in Line program. So that we're going to see a ton of churn in Next in Line. A lot of these people are never going to sign WWE contracts, so maybe this guy won't. But Mason Paris is an incredible amateur wrestler, comes from the exact same school that Gable Steveson did. Since Gable Steveson has had his feet dipped back into amateur wrestling for a little while here, the two of them have actually wrestled a little bit, and Stevenson's just incredible on the mat, so Paris hasn't beaten him. But Paris is the only wrestler in any of these tournaments that they've been wrestling at who has scored a point on Steveson. And if Mason Paris chooses to sign with WWE, he's really going to be one to watch.
Hey, that's interesting information. I didn't know that. That's a big deal. It's actually a very big deal to get
What
him
about this-
on Stevenson.
What about this Eddie Thorpe match that's coming up with?
Oh yeah, the NXT Underground match.
Right.
Oh yeah, Sal, we're getting Raw Underground on Tuesday on NXT. Not a joke. That's not a joke at all. Not a joke.
Yeah.
He's in Gable Steveson. I completely forgot that's happening Tuesday. Yeah, I forgot that's happening Tuesday.
Just when you thought things were gonna stay the same, now we gotta shake it up a little.
No,
bit.
it's called 4th of July, and they're having some fun because no one's probably watching the show live because it's 4th of July. So they're having a good time, and they're putting on random stuff. They're putting on random stuff.
From watching Eddie Thorpe, I think this is a guy that I think has a potential to do well. Whether or not they let him be himself and stay with what he's doing is fine. If they change the character and the gimmick, I think he's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Tom, any thoughts?
That's is that Thorpe or Steveson?
Thorpe.
Yeah, I actually, I wouldn't call it a concern necessarily, just subjectively, because, and again, I don't watch NJPW. I don't watch NJPW Strong, so I wasn't familiar with him before he came to NXT. But I personally haven't found anything Eddie Thorpe is doing, whether it's gimmick-wise, promo-wise, match-wise, to stand out. I have not been wowed by him. His performance has not met his reputation for me, and I know that other people would push back and have pushed back on me for that. But yeah, I would agree with that concern, that he's blending in a bit more than his reputation suggested he would. Raw Underground on NXT. How I mean, I'm willing to give it a chance. It's also really weird that Gable Steveson, who was drafted to Raw how many years ago, shows up on NXT, and I think without saying, hey, he's my brother, he's basically like, oh yeah, hey, my brother, I'm Gable Steveson, my brother Damon Kemp. And like, of course people in life can have different last names if they're from the same blood related family, but it's just weird. But I guess we're also talking about the same world where the greatest ongoing storyline is a family issue of the Anoa'i family involving Roman Reigns and Jay and Jimmy Uso and their brother Solo Sikoa.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong at all.
So I mean, here's the thing with the NXT Underground. I mean, does a revelation come forward that basically the two are brothers? I mean,
well, actually, no. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny this week on NXT that what was the line that was said? It was like I know who his parents are, which made me laugh.
Oh man,
that was good. That was a very funny line. If you know, you know. That was a good line.
There you go.
So no, that was that. I had to just bring that up because it was so ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous that was. But I think that is everything we're here to talk about. So I think I will hit this. Somebody has fully muted. I don't know why. And I will hit this. And Dad, what are we closing the show with?
Hey, we're closing out with "Hear Me" by Imagine Dragons.
Hey, there's a band we've actually heard of. For those who are wondering, I just love doing dad shit sometimes, but to bring us older music. So we actually have a newer song for a change. So, all right. Sal, take it away. Go.
Yeah, for more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media or watch the show on YouTube, which is BlakeAndSalShow.com. Please don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will read it on the show that make fun of you.
Especially if you're being an asshole. That's your thing.
Hey, as always, I've been crawling out of my basement. I mean, your pleasure. And if you happen to have a local independent wrestling organization where you live at, please go patronize these people. These are the young men and women in the world of sports entertainment, professional wrestling that are coming up into the world and want to get into a major organization. You'll be amazed on what they're able to do, promos they cut, finishers, their gimmick, their character, and so much more. But do so safely. Don't make a fool out of yourself. Don't embarrass yourself. This is a family atmosphere we're talking about for the most part. And
let's do a GCW show, not the whole of the story.
And hey, let's just all be nicer to one another. We only got one life, one world. Let's make the best of it.
If you're at a GCW show and you're throwing a pizza cutter, you're an idiot. Just to throw that out there. Tom, get your plug in one more time. Go.
New NXT 8 Years Back and Bonus Point this coming weekend for PW Torch VIP subscribers.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Next week, so as I said, I'm going to be in Jersey. So next week's show, the Red Room recorded. We are doing a draft of the AAW ROH wrestlers. And as you heard our WWE NXT drafts, this one's actually a little crazier because none of us had time to prepare. So none of us prepared.
No.
So we really improv this one. It actually turned out to be a very, very fun hour. So tune into that next week. The week after, me and Mandy are going to be in the Peloton studio this weekend. So if you're actually in New York, Peloton studio on Saturday, look for me and Mandy. We're doing some live classes with Emma. So we're going to be actually recording a Puck and Polish episode from Jersey, and that's going to go up the week after. So you can hear us talk about our experience at Peloton in 2 weeks. And then the three of us will be back together to recap and catch up on life and catch up on everything going on the last couple of weeks. I actually like those shows where we get to relax and have a good time. Tom, thank you so much. As always, it's fun for you to join us. I love when you come on the show. I've been trying to get you on for a while.
that is true. I always feel bad just being like, oh, I'm sorry, man, the schedule doesn't line up again. But thankfully we worked this one out. It, as always, it was a fun one. Thank you.
I think it worked out in the summer when you don't have to worry about the kids.
Yes,
that's what it works out.
That makes a big difference. Yeah.
So, all right. That being said, let's get out of here. I'm Blake.
I'm Sal.
I'm Mark.
And you've been listening to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
Oh, and it's Timo time.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bye-bye, bitch.